Greetings, fellow fans. In today's video, I have a lot of exciting updates, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel. There are some fascinating rumors surrounding the draft that we should delve into regarding the Bears, as we are exactly 2 weeks away from the 2025 NFL Draft. Recent updates suggest that there is considerable interest in a running back from Boise State, which is not surprising, but it further underscores that he is a player the team will be keen to pick if the right opportunity presents itself. According to the information shared, scouts across the league have expressed their admiration for this player during the off-season activities. This running back could very well be the selection at number 10 if he is still available, raising an important question. Will he actually slide to number 10? At this moment, I would evaluate that as having less than a 50% chance. A few weeks ago, it appeared to be a 50-50 scenario, but the dynamics have shifted. There are credible rumors regarding a particular team. While it is not guaranteed that he will be picked 6th, it certainly remains a possibility. Moreover, a team like one at number 4 could also consider him, especially given that another running back has not met expectations in recent years. In a draft filled with uncertainties, teams selecting between 1 and 9, even if running back isn't their main priority, may see this as a chance, realizing that while another player might provide a better immediate impact, this player is a known commodity that could help the team's success. Therefore, navigating the choice between 1 and 10 will require careful deliberation. There's another angle regarding this team. Could they bypass this running back? Recent discussions imply that the team might focus on other areas instead. Now, I will note this. If he gets past one team, the odds shift significantly, not merely because it brings one more team closer to 10, but because that has been a widely discussed scenario. His selection has been the prevailing choice in many mock drafts. It is indeed the most favored pick. However, when reviewing the draft order, will another team possibly consider him? There was a report suggesting they might contemplate selecting him before making strategic moves. I believe there is a possibility, but that seems rather unlikely. Although they are interested in a quarterback, they could opt for this path. Another team will not select him. They previously invested in running backs, so I feel confident in saying they would not opt for this player. Another team could be a consideration, but if a quarterback is still on the board, that seems more plausible. I believe a tight end could be a player they might think about. The option of a defensive player, if available, is also someone they might target, as they have a history of focusing on the defensive line in the first round. Therefore, I do think if he manages to get past one team, I would assert right now it is less than 50% chance that he does. In fact, I actually believe it is greater than 50% that he reaches a selection, although there's still 3 slots left and a team could make moves. Thus, I consider that 6th slot pivotal for the chances of acquiring this running back. Will he still be around? What are your thoughts? Will he be there when the Bears need to choose at number 10? Type Y for yes if you think he will, or type N for no if you believe he won't. I would lean against that at this moment, but I do not deem it impossible. There are those who contend it is unlikely. Will Jenny be available? What do you think? Will Ashton Jenny be on the list when the Bears make their choice at number 10? Type Y for yes if you think he will be available, or N for no if you think he won't be. Personally, I would bet against this at the moment, but I don't consider it impossible. Some people say there's no way he makes it to number 10, but I see a probability still around 40%. Now, will the Bears consider focusing on a defensive tackle instead of an edge player? This idea is quite interesting. It was mentioned that Chicago has 2 picks in the second round, so they could be bold and use those selections to trade back into the bottom of the first round if a desired pass rusher falls. This rusher could be a defensive tackle or an edge rusher, with the team viewing the defensive tackle as a more urgent priority. I'm not sure about the source of this information, but it certainly piques my interest. Looking at the defensive line group as a whole, it seems there are more players on the roster capable of playing solidly as defensive tackles compared to edge rushers. For instance, think of players who performed adequately last season. Another player also showed potential at the end of the season, and although a particular player didn't have an exceptional year, he was a third-round pick not too long ago. The team has indicated that they view Dioenbo as an athlete capable of playing more inside, and he has done so effectively before. This provides a good number of players who could realistically see playing time on game day, with most being at least competent in their roles. In contrast, at the edge position, there's one option, and you might include another who will likely primarily play there. However, this depends significantly on a third player. Will a specific player see significant playing time at the edge position this season? What about another? I don't think he has much of a chance to make the final roster, though perhaps someone has a different perspective. Another name to consider. Looking at this situation, it's clear there's much more depth at defensive tackle. I'm a big fan of this year's defensive tackle class, and if the right player is available given the draft position, they definitely deserve attention. However, in my view, the edge position is where they likely need more support, at least for this season. Looking at the current scenario, I see that there's considerably more depth in the defensive tackle position. I highly value this year's class for defensive tackles, and if the right talent is available, teams should definitely consider that based on their draft position. However, in my view, the edge rusher position is one that likely requires more focus, at least for next season. There are various speculations about the validity of this report. Perhaps the coaching staff has strong confidence in another player or believes that he still has significant potential. I don't believe they are giving up on him. Last year, there were many discussions suggesting that he could have benefited from returning to college. This first year will likely resemble a redshirt season. No one predicted that he would come in and register a significant number of sacks in his rookie season. However, it would be absurd to suggest that he's completely prepared to assume a starting role. The expectation is that he can contribute as a good rotational player this year, but it's possible they have more ambitious goals for him than that. As for another player, it's possible he will primarily play as a defensive end, though I believe he will be used in multiple roles. This flexibility is likely a key reason for his acquisition. What intrigues me most is whether a player could transition to defensive end. With considerable size, he has already played in that position and had some success. The coaching staff has managed to use players over 300 pounds at the edge position in the past. A specific player seemed a little thinner upon arrival, so perhaps the strategy is to trim him down to play both edge and defensive tackle. If this report is true and they view defensive tackle as a more urgent priority despite the investment, I'm curious to understand what this means for a specific player. It's plausible that they could move him to the edge position. I certainly wouldn't rule that out, as there are simply more players on the interior line than at the edge position. What do you believe is the most significant need along the defensive line? I lean more toward the edge position, but I don't see a big difference between the two. The demand is for more quality defensive players. However, if you ask me right now which position I feel more confident about, I'd say defensive tackle. What do you consider to be the main need on the defensive line? For me, it seems that the priority should be a pass rusher. While I don't see a significant difference between these two positions, the team really needs more competent defensive players. However, if you ask me which position I feel more secure in, whether it's edge or defensive tackle, I'd say defensive tackle. There are simply more options available in this area of the defense. Now, let's explore some interesting discussions about the draft. There's a lot to talk about this Thursday, especially when it comes to the Chicago Bears. If you're thinking about attending a game between the Cubs and the White Sox this spring or summer, there's nothing like being in the stadium to feel the atmosphere and, who knows, watch a victory. Maybe you're also interested in catching a Bulls or Blackhawks game as the season progresses. In that case, it's worth checking out ticket options for those events. I've been using a specific ticket-selling platform for several years, and it's become my go-to source for securing tickets for sports events, shows, comedy, and more. What really stands out about this platform is the ability to find last-minute deals, often allowing you to purchase tickets at affordable prices just hours or minutes before the event starts. The feature that highlights the best prices available is especially useful, as it combines seat quality with ticket value. Other benefits of this service include transparent pricing, seat views when browsing tickets, and customer service that's known for its flexibility. If you're interested, consider downloading the app and using a specific code for a discount on your first purchase. Now, back to some more issues. The left tackle position is definitely a point of interest, especially with the draft approaching. There's a possibility that the Bears might look to strengthen their offensive line with the 10th pick. This aligns with what the general manager mentioned in the league owner meetings about balancing short-term and long-term needs. Chicago reshaped the interior of its offensive line through trades and signings, but don't discount the chance of the Bears opting for an offensive lineman with the 10th pick, specifically a left tackle. This ties into what the general manager discussed in the league owners' meetings about their strategies for both short and long-term needs. While the team may not need a rookie left tackle to start in 2025, bringing in competition for both the present and future could be beneficial. In my opinion, there are two offensive linemen who deserve consideration at the 10th position: Will Campbell from LSU and Armin Mimu from Missouri. Campbell started 3 years as a left tackle, while Mimu has experience as a right tackle and a bit as a guard, but I believe he has the skills to play left tackle. However, there are differing views on this, including one we'll discuss shortly. If neither is available, I feel that selecting any other offensive lineman at this point would be inappropriate. A left tackle like Josh Simmons, before his injury, could have been an option, but there are too many uncertainties around him for the 10th pick. I have a positive opinion of Josh Connerly, as he reminds me of Darnell Wright in that he gained strength during the draft process. By the end of the college football season, he was viewed as an early second-round pick and had a good performance at the Senior Bowl. I expect him to be picked in the first round, although the 10th position may be a bit early for him. As for other potential left tackles in this group, I don't see anyone else justifying that pick. I think another position would be more appropriate. The moves made during free agency were key in helping the team avoid the pressure of selecting offensive line help at the 10th spot. However, if Will Campbell is available or if the pick is Armin Mimu, I would support those decisions. That said, selecting a third offensive lineman at the 10th pick doesn't seem appealing given the limited options available up to this point. Now, there's one more story about Armin Mimu, but the draft rumors are intensifying. Every day brings new information, and we're following it all here. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In a stunning twist that has sent shockwaves through the football world, rumors are swirling that Chicago Bears star wide receiver DJ Moore is facing a massive 2-season suspension from the NFL due to alleged doping violations. If true, the penalty would mark one of the most severe in league history for a player of Moore's caliber, leaving fans and analysts reeling and demanding answers. Moore, widely regarded as one of the league's most consistent and explosive wideouts, has built a stellar reputation since his debut with the Carolina Panthers in 2018. After a blockbuster trade to the Chicago Bears in 2023, he quickly became a cornerstone of the offense, recording a career-high 1,364 receiving yards and 8 touchdowns that year. His chemistry with the Bears' young quarterback core and his clutch performances, including a monstrous 230-yard, 3-touchdown game in Week 5 of 2023, earned him admiration league-wide. Just months ago, the Bears doubled down on Moore's value, inking him to a groundbreaking 4-year, $110 million contract extension. The deal made NFL history, guaranteeing the first 10 years of Moore's career, an unprecedented vote of confidence in his durability, leadership, and clean track record. That trust is now hanging in the balance, as the league reportedly investigates substances found in a random off-season test. While neither Moore nor the Bears have publicly addressed the rumor, speculation is intensifying as insiders hint at serious implications for both the player and the organization. If the allegations are true, this will reshape the Bears' entire trajectory and send a chilling message across the league, one anonymous team executive told a sports outlet. Social media has erupted, with fans torn between disbelief and dismay over the potential fall of a beloved star. As of now, the NFL has not issued an official statement, and Moore remains listed on the Bears' active roster. Until more information emerges, the football community waits with bated breath, hoping this bombshell turns out to be no more than rumor and not the abrupt downfall of a franchise hero. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, Be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.